Hello and welcome. I'm Marcus Brewer, and today we will be discussing click fraud, education, prevention, and detection. Thanks for joining. So let's start with discussing what click fraud is. Click fraud is a click-on PPC ad that is not the result of a genuine interest. This type of fraud occurs when someone, sometimes a person, sometimes an automated script or program created by a hacker, clicks on paid ads in order to generate a charge. So click fraud effects. Click fraud increases keyword cost. Fraudulent clicks inflate the results of online ads, so thus making it harder for a client or a consumer to basically determine whether or not they're actually reaching their target market. And then larger competitors have the financial advantage due to click fraud because when they are driving up keyword cost, often they have the financial advantage and can outbid them relatively quickly. So types of click fraud. You have forced traffic and robot traffic, competing advertisers, international traffic, as well as publishers actually clicking on their own ads in order to drive traffic. So forced traffic and robot traffic. This is the use of pop-up ads. Rather than a pop-up ad display a content of the ad, the pop-up delivers a visitor to click the URL that the engine uses to actually track the traffic. Now, competing advertisers. Large competitors drive up clicks, so the competition runs out of money, leading to more traffic to the competing advertiser. And then you have international traffic. International traffic is very closely related to click farms. Now, a click farm is a business that pays employees to click on website elements to actually artificially boost a client's website or product, thus giving an artificial data to the client. This type of click fraud is very popular overseas with developing countries because the amount that they actually have to pay the employee is significantly less than what the ad would actually generate online. So what does all of this mean? This is a great fact that I found online. Despite the fact that online advertising budgets continue to grow, 36% of all web traffic is considered fake. Advertisers excuse me, see the need for online advertising, but are throwing away up to $7 million per month on fraudulent leads. This is a significant amount of any company's budget, and anything that can be done in order to decrease the amount of click fraud would save a company tens of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars, depending on the size of the company and how much online advertising they do. So I know I'd mentioned earlier, a lot of click farms are often found in developing countries, and you can actually observe the amount of click fraud or invalid rates per country on the chart above. So this was a great statistic I found as well. Just really puts into picture the amount of of revenue that is actually driven, through click fraud. This is a great statistic as well. The U.S. internet ad revenues reached a record-breaking $49.5 billion in 2014, a 16% increase over landmark 2013 numbers. So a lot of money is being spent by a variety of different companies on the content that they're putting out to the consumer. So it's very important that the content's actually getting in front of the consumers, and they're not wasting their money on someone clicking on their ad that actually isn't interested. So this kind of breaks down the percent by type. The largest percentage is are known offenders, clicks that originate from IPs that have been identified as invalid. And then you have 22%, which is collusion, multiple players involved in organization fraud activities generated by botnets. These would be the programs that people devised in order to drive clicks that are invalid. Abnormal keyword distribution. These are keywords coming from sources or going to a destination that are invalid as well. Poor community reputation. Clicks flagged due to suspicious community data. This could be an IP address that is very frequently changing, and a lot of times that'll be seen as an invalid IP address because it's very suspicious. And then you have the fast click. This would be any click that's under a set time, just depending on the type of software that you use. That can vary. And the other two are pretty minor. You really don't see them very often. This would be velocity, and then other. These can just be seen as errors in data, or some kind of error in the algorithm that you are taking into account for the invalid number of clicks that you are getting. So let's talk about some solutions. There's a variety of solutions out there. Obviously, if you're a smaller company, you want to start from within. So here's a number of in-house click fraud solutions that I've implemented myself, and I found pretty helpful. So you can set different bid prices for content targeted sales. This allows you to kind of maintain a budget, which is very important, and prevents you from using all your budget because of the competitors driving up a specific price. However, that does cut back on the amount of exposure that you'll get. However, you will remain within budget, and a lot of times your client's a lot happier. Closely monitor your competitors, because your competitors are definitely monitoring you, and you want to know what keywords they're searching and having success with, and because you'll want to implement the exact same keywords, because you're often trying to find the same target consumer. And then what's very important is tracking advertising campaign performance and percentage of clicks that Google categorizes as invalid. These will be the fraudulent clicks that Google picks up on ad source. And of course, advertising in specific countries. Like I'd mentioned earlier, a lot of countries are specifically targeted for clicking farms because of the developmental country. A lot of times they can pay their employees significantly less than what the ad would generate. And then of course you want to target high value sites where your target consumers are going to be found, because this is obviously going to drive more traffic to your site, and you'll be able to reach a consumer that is preferably more interested in your product or service than you would on a site that is irrelevant. So outsourced click fraud. One outsourced click fraud solution that I find very helpful is with T Software Solutions. T is a Google Analytic, basically on steroids, because it will eliminate a lot of your click fraud, bounce rate, and bad advertisers, as well as boost your sales to new heights, of course, and that's always the end game. So here is kind of how T is developed and how it's kind of implemented. So obviously you want your software to identify the threat. You want to engage your consumers and make sure that they are staying engaged, because the more engaged that your consumer is, the more realistic or more realistically that they are actually a real consumer and they're interested in your product. So, and these are the the specific ways that the software actually identifies these. So this is a list of key advantages of the T software. It does have click fraud, protection, which detects 100% of the botnet out there. The botnets are going to be the programming, the specific programming scripts that are recorded as clicks, which will inevitably waste advertising money. Poor advertisers. So this will detect poor performing keywords or advertisements that you currently have in place, allowing you to decrease the amount that you're actually spending on a specific ad, and kind of allocate that towards an advertisement that is actually doing significantly better than that. Poor engagement. Like I mentioned earlier, the more engaged that your online consumer is, the more likely that they're an actual consumer. So eliminating poor engagement traffic by using various ROI reports detect the best visits by country, geolocation, time and day, and then allocate the right budget to the right time and drive excellent engagement, engaged visitors to your website. Ad safe delivery. If your publisher ads on your website, specifically Google AdSense, which is very popular, your competitors or rogue botnets can shut your account down overnight due to poor quality traffic. I've actually seen this a lot. You definitely want to ensure that you're getting quality traffic to any site. Using their ad safe delivery technology, you can ensure that only human quality traffic gets to see your ads, and botnets will see nothing, and that's always great. Real-time ROI. A lot of softwares have this, and it just measures your campaign performance in real time. And then analyze behavior. So T tracks visitor mouse movements, assigns engagement scores to each visitor based on how they engage with specific key performance indicators. And then you have smart marketing. Real-time engagement tracking can intimidate actions on highly engaged visitors, so you can remarket to a lot of your consumers that are visiting your site on a daily basis or a weekly basis, and kind of devise specific marketing strategies towards them. And then of course you want to engage your consumer in conversations using the data collected from each visitor's mouse movements. You can predict broken sales funnels in your website and pinpoint the areas that need focus in order to improve conversations. So software solution pricing, this is just for the software without any kind of consulting fees. There's a variety of packages from the startup to the pro to the business and the enterprise. This kind of varies just depending on business size and your need. So with click fraud, the ultimate goal is, of course, to avoid it at all costs, and you always want to understand understanding your consumer starts with finding them. So you always want to find them, and obviously, the more click fraud you can detect, the more consumers that you'll find, and the more profitable you'll become. Thank you for your time, and